Let's talk a little here about the Nuggets offseason. Do you guys think it'll be mere hours, if not whatever, days, weeks? I don't know. How quickly will they take the interim tag off David Adelman, or do you think they will go and try and find a new coach? What's your read on that?
I think Adelman's definitely earned it. I mean, the Nuggets played pretty uninspired basketball leading up to Michael Malone and Calvin Booth being fired. They went a whopping 3-0. I saw it called a perfect 3-0 after David Adelman took over. But look, they won a 7-game series. Then they took the best team in the league, 68-win team. They had them. They went to a 7-game series. There are times I'm sure the Nuggets could argue we should have won that series. Obviously, the Thunder think so as well. But it was close up until 3 minutes left in the second quarter of Game 7. So certainly they bought in on him. If Jokic likes Adelman, that's really all that matters. But they're going to need to hire a very creative general manager, I do believe, this summer.
There is a vacancy there in the front office because you said Booth got obviously canned when Michael Malone did, and so somebody will have to do that. You inherit a roster task that does return a lot of players, but it's top-heavy in salary. Jokic, Jamal, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon, I think, are like 82% of their payroll. Yep. And then their whole issue has been, for some time now, is like, okay, who is there any bench? Can we trust any of these guys, either our own guys with internal development, or can we go and make a deal to sort of like try and get some more bodies in here? And I don't know if you have any idea what that would be. It feels like you would try and trade Michael Porter Jr., but I'm not sure what sort of trade value he would return with his contract. I don't know. That's a tough spot they're in here, I think.
They are. Yeah, they've got to hire somebody great to work the front office. That is the number one job. Forget about the coach. David Adelman is probably going to be there.
I think so.
This problem here with the roster is Jamal Murray does not look like playoff Jamal anymore. To be that number 2 guy, to be a guy who carries you besides Jokic. But he is paid 4 years max for these next 4 years to go along with Jokic's big salary. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult when you're so top heavy financially and you're not really getting that performance out of your number 2 guy. You probably are looking at Michael Porter Jr.'s 2 years left on his deal to try and get probably multiple parts because they have a depth problem, and I think they have a number 2 problem at times to take them to the next level. Even though they did overachieve. They did do well to get to the second round against 68-win team. That being said, I don't know what Porter is going to elicit in terms of multiple guys. That's a tough ask. This is a very, very, very tough job, and you just got to be able to find somebody. Like hope the signings that Calvin Booth did, like Sarge and Westbrook, like somebody like that. That's cheaper at the end of the bench turns into somebody who's great. I think they got to go multiple parts here for because they have too many problems. They really got to get deeper.
They can't even attach like a first-round pick to Michael Porter Jr. and that contract to get some sort of talent back because they don't have any.
Well, they've got them in 31 and 32. They can swap 26, 28, and 30. Like those are picks that you can attach. I actually give Michael Porter Jr. a lot of credit for playing through his arm injury. He finally didn't have a pad on last night, so at least he's turning the corner. But unfortunately, other NBA teams were probably watching the playoffs as well. He didn't have a great playoffs, but he's the guy they have to look at trading, and he should be traded for 2 players is the key. They need to turn one big contract of a guy who's never going to make an all-star team into 2 contracts of guys who actually will maybe be part of the team. I don't know what happens with Milwaukee and Giannis going forward, but there's some guys there who would help, like Kuzma would help the Nuggets, believe it or not. He's Michael Porter Jr., but a little bit faster. They could maybe get Bobby Portis, maybe Gary Trent Jr. Who knows? There are some players out there. You want Vooch and Pat Williams? Make that deal happen.
Sure.
Need a backup center. Need some wing defender and a guy who shoots once a game. But in reality, this team is going to look very similar, I think, to what they looked like this year. And they still went to 7 games. They're still on the edges of championship contention. So hiring the coach, assuming it's Adelman, is going to be huge. Michael Malone was not a player development coach. No. Maybe David Adelman is, because Christian Brown took a step this year, for sure. He was a great player. Yep. His next step is like dribbling, doing a little bit of self-creation. It feels like all of his baskets come off assists from Jokic, but if he's able to take another step, that definitely helps the Nuggets. Then you need guys like Watson, Pickett, and Strother to make a leap like Christian Brown made in the offseason. You got to hope Deron Holmes, their rookie they drafted last year to be Jokic's backup, got hurt in Summer League. You have to hope he can play a little bit. And honestly, Jamal Murray needs to show up ready to play.
Yeah.
He needs to make an all-star team, because if you're paying a guy 4 years, $208 million, he can't just be a good player in the playoffs 5 games. He didn't have a good playoffs. He had a better playoffs than he did last season, but he never really reached the highs that we were looking for.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, it's not playoff Jamal. It's not that same guy that was in the bubble or who won the championship. I don't know if that guy is coming back. Right. We just see him, what he's going through physically as well. So you're really asking for support players to pick that up. And the unfortunate part is you win a championship, especially a couple of years prior to the CBA, you got an expensive frickin' team, period. Richard Jeff said on the broadcast, it's totally true. You start paying guys. You win a championship, you start paying guys. Jokic, Murray, Porter, Gordon. Your top 4 are getting paid a ton. Then there's a huge drop-off after that in terms of financially what they're doing, and it's still $200 million that they're committed to, with a couple player options for next season. So it's
Zeke Nash is a guy they could probably. I mean, is he either going to play or he could trade him too? Because he got a bit of not like money like those core 4 guys, but he got a fine contract. An easily movable contract.
Really?
It's about 8 per.
Who's going to trade for him?
8 per.
8. I mean, it's not going to tank someone. Who's going to trade for him? Sure, you're right. Maybe somebody will.
That's why.
Who's going to send a better player back?
Well,
is the question.
Yeah, that's why they need a sort of a miracle off a scrap heap, a guy that they just signed.
Sarge was a dud. Absolute
Sarge was a dud. Westbrook was exactly as expected.
Won him a series, lost him a series.
Yeah. I mean, he was minus 92 plus minus in the second round series, but he was a huge reason they beat the Clippers and sort of shocked some people who had LAC winning that series. But yeah, his final stats in this one, he averaged under 10 points, shot 35%, shot 21% from 3. He had more turnovers than assists, I believe, in the series here.
I believe it.
Against the Thunder. I mean, oh my God, that's really brutal. So, yeah, and I guess he has a player option, right?
He does.
So he'll decide whether he's back there.
Him and Sarge have player options. Calvin Booth decided to go young, and Jalen Pickett, who is Westbrook's sort of replacement, possibly Strother, and who am I missing? Peyton Watson. And those guys have not materialized into great day-to-day role players. So yeah, those guys, it would be nice if one of those guys performed, but they have a big drop off.
And for the 4th straight season here, the Nuggets are projected to be a luxury tax team. So there's that as well. You're a repeater tax team. And so that gets very, very expensive for this ownership. There'll be a first apron team, all likelihood it will be. So they're already over that. It's going to be like $5 million over that. Then you're not allowed to use 100% of the traded player exception. So we'll see what they do with their books. I think the Michael Porter Jr. makes the most sense. You try and shop him, see if you can get multiple players back.
And the most tradable with just 2 years left.
Sure.
I mean, obviously Jokic, but Jamal Murray.
Not trading Jokic.
Is it Jamal Murray?
Maybe, but I don't think so. I mean, just the chemistry between those two guys, but I guess Jokic has a lot of say in this as well, but maybe he's already riding a horse somewhere.
You think he's already on a horse?
Well, I know he's already drinking beers.
Yeah.
He said it.
BWERRUN. I wonder if they get in the Kevin Durant game. I wonder if they kick the tires on that. It would probably be Michael Porter Jr., all the picks and swaps they have left. At Christian Brown. Maybe they would even ask for Jamal Murray, but I don't know. Wow. Obviously, Kevin Durant is a huge upgrade over Michael Porter Jr., huge upgrade over Christian Brown, but that's an even shallower team. It's KD and Jokic at the top, but I wouldn't be surprised if they at least have conversations about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe.
I'm very interested in that. Very interested whether or not Jokic plays in Eurobasket this summer. Because that's a big tournament. He just played the Olympics last year. He said that made him a better player this year, but also probably made him a little tired. I mean, he had to carry a team for a whole season. Is he going to go play in a few weeks of Eurobasket after drinking beers and riding horses? I don't know. It's going to be a great tournament. It should be fun.
That's how he resets. When is that?
Late August, early September.
Okay. All right. Eurobasket. We'll see.